how did you get involved with the Dream Team documentary, and talk a little bit about the hours of film you had to go through and some of the initial stages of that production?
Yeah. So we had all of this footage for 20 years. I think it was the 20th anniversary, right, when it came out.
Yeah. Yep. 2012.
Yeah. So Andy Thompson, very good friend of mine, who is also one of the executive producers on The Last Dance. He's been at the NBA forever. His brother's Michael Thompson, just the best guy. He's another guy that forms these incredible relationships with players like Kobe Bryant. And he was on that trip with the Dream Team in 1992 in Barcelona, and all the stops prior, with his little camera, filming all of that. It's funny, I'm watching the playoffs on TV now, and I still see him in the background with his camera. He loves his little cameos. He's like Alfred Hitchcock of the NBA. But he shot all of that footage. And so we had been sitting on it forever, and I think trying to figure out what to do with it. And then, 30 for 30, of course, happened. And all of a sudden the sports doc was really a thing, right? NBA TV, we were really the NBA was trying to do whatever it could to create this space for NBA TV where they had original content, original documentaries. And so the Dream Team was a natural story to tell at the time, right? And based on my prior work on Once Brothers and the TV shows that I had mentioned, the association, I think I had sort of put myself in the position to direct that film. So it was a question of, what to do with all the footage, right? And we knew that it was always going to be basketball porn, basically, right? Like, this is the 11 of the greatest players of all time all together. I mean, you're never going to get anything like this again. And we have the footage, and for any basketball or sports fan, we knew that it was just going to be incredible. So I think my job was sort of to go through this footage and figure out where's the story, right? Because at the time, it was just being covered, right? It wasn't being covered at the time in 1992. Like, ultimately, this will be a documentary, and let me dive into these interpersonal relationships and that kind of thing. So all of that had to be brought out in the edit room and with the writing, right? And Aaron Cohen, one of your guests, phenomenal person and writer, did the
I love the plug. I love how you plug our listeners to go check that one out too. But go ahead, keep going.
Yeah,
Aaron.
man, Aaron's my guy. It all came alive in the edit room, and so what kind of conflict can be generated, and maybe generated is the wrong word, because there's sort of the subtext that it was created. It was real. What sort of tension could we show the viewers was actually there, right? And MJ is the new guy in town, right? And you have Bird and Magic, and here comes MJ. And so we were able to find these little moments that nobody even knew. I don't think they were logged, like MJ getting on the bus and Magic saying, keep walking, or whatever he said. And, you find a bunch of little nuggets like that. And all of a sudden you sort of have a story of this tension, right? Which was real. And so it was my job to sort of figure out how that plays into the story, where to put it. But there wasn't a shortage of incredible footage for that film.
Well, I want to know about the footage that you couldn't show, because you preceded the Heat, Seth and I at the Heat, and we all have worked in an environment where there's stuff you can show and stuff you can't show. So I'm guessing there was plenty of footage in that vault that you were said, hey, you can't use this.
I'm trying to remember. It was so long ago. I don't remember anything particular in that film, because there was nothing really controversial. Like maybe
I was thinking maybe the gambling. I thought maybe there'd be some gambling stuff, and they wouldn't let you show that way.
I mean, I feel like there was probably some of that we didn't put in. I don't remember in particular, but you know, there very well could have been.
Yeah.
But there was nothing like that would have made anybody think any differently about any of those guys. I mean, they were, you know, I mean, Larry Bird talks about drinking beer at the pool, you know, it's so, you know, it was what it was. Scottie Pippen on the topless beach, maybe, I don't know.
No, that was funny too. You showed all that. The beer, the $7 beers was funny. That was a funny line. So the whole thing, it was funny.